Coach, just for you personally to be on the court for the first time with your new team, just what is this kind of like?
I liked it. It kind of hit me on the bus. I was back in the front seat on the bus, and it's a good analogy of, we're not looking back, we're looking forward when you're sitting in that window. But I feel great being out here. I mean, I did from the first workout on March 19th with them when I got the job to right now, because you're putting demands and expectations on them to get better. And whether they get it or not, whether they understand it or not, whether they accept it or not, it's only going to benefit them when they get it. And that's the part of coaching that you got to be strong with and true to. And I kind of really enjoy that. And I really, really enjoy then when they start to get it. Now, we're not there yet, and that's not coach speak, that's reality. But we are making strides, and it'll be fun to see where we stand tonight.
Well, we kind of got a chance to see that today here at the shoot-around.
Sure.
I mean, there were a lot of instances where you kind of stopped in the middle of a drill and have guys kind of slow motion through what you're doing.
Well, this is their first time with me and with us in a game day situation too. Just like last night was their first time with us, and the night before a game. Just like yesterday was the first time, the day before a game. So we're certainly not trying to treat this in the normal preparation realm. First off, they got 4 returning players, so there's a lot of things we don't know about them, and we're a brand new team, so maybe they've got the same situation, but we're trying to make sure that we get the keys for us that maybe we haven't spent as much time on yet, but that we need to really understand. We got to make it part of our identity. That's our transition defense. That's our ability to control the dribble better, to not foul jump shooters, challenge shots without fouling, and then get all 5 guys rebounding. And offensively, can we stay true to our spacing? Can we keep cutting? Can we keep cutting hard? Can we get good looks? Can we deliver the ball on time, on target? Can we get to the offensive glass? There's so many things. There's a litany of things we want to be good at. I know we can't be yet, but we got to be good at some of those things so we know where our weaknesses are to really harp on when we get back home.
How was this, the challenge of taking over Georgia? I know the Indiana situation was totally different with probation and all that. How is this one different from the other ones you've kind of taken over?
It's completely different. Maybe if any of the jobs, it'd be more similar to Marquette, because there were really good young people returning back in that program, and they really wanted to do well. And but again, when you're new to a league, when you're new to a program, and everybody's new to me, whether it's a player or a coach, that takes time. So I find myself having to check myself quite a bit, and stuff that I would take for granted in the past because somebody would handle it for me or somebody had been with me. No, I got to make sure I'm doing that. So it forces me to really be on it. And I kind of like that. It's good. Because what you don't do is take anything for granted with a program. And every time I think that something might be known, or I think, well, you know what, they'll get this pretty quick, it takes a little time to do that. So I'm spending more time making sure, how do I help them learn what we want to do, hold them accountable without having them have too high expectation for where we're at, but also not let them get comfortable with just making a little bit of progress. We'll make a lot of progress. And I'm trying to balance that right now. That's hard, and that's what I spend most of my time thinking about.
What should fans' expectations, somebody kind of tempering your own expectation, what should fans do the same thing with this team?
Oh, I think they have to, that's not coach speak either. Everything is different, and when you talk to them, I mean, it's just different. And it's not that one style of play is better than the other, but it's different. And this is very different for us. We're so far behind on X's and O's, plays, sets. Well, we try to spend so much time on concepts, making the next pass, shooting mechanics. What a good shot is for us, what a good shot isn't. Talking, all the things that you got to really be good at, running both ends of the floor. There's nothing that I would look at and say that's our identity right now. And it's October, 18th? Guess I'll remember that, right? So I think fans have to see that too. It is. Dan Leibovitz from the SEC office came in the other day. He's a former coach, excellent guy, does a lot with the SEC, and he said this is completely different for them. And he kept giving me the examples of where it's different. You need perspective like that once in a while. And I hope our fans will keep that in perspective as we build this.
You don't have nothing. Well, I've got the questions. Okay, well, I'll keep on going on then. As far as personnel goes, I mean, have you learned something? What's the biggest thing you've learned in the past, maybe since y'all started practicing, you didn't know about some of these kids moving forward?
I don't know if I could answer that. Here's the thing where we sit right now. This is just where it is on October 18th. Good, bad, or indifferent. We don't have anybody that I deem a starter.
Right.
There's nobody that's consistent enough on a daily basis, overly competitive enough on a daily basis, and aware enough on a daily basis yet for me to say, okay, that's a start. And we're going to start 5 tonight, okay, because you have to. But we're so far from that. Now I say that, and here's the best thing. When you got your best teams, you've got 7 starters, maybe 8. And that means our competition's got to pick up. And right now, the biggest thing I want these guys to get is this. You have to be responsible for what you're doing, but you also have to be responsible for your teammates. Because a lot of times what happens, and this happens with our own children, it happens in life, when people don't want to be responsible, they want to hold somebody else responsible, right? It's like, I'm not going to do it, but you got to do it. And that's what happens with teams. It doesn't make them bad, it makes them normal. And you've got to be able to work through that. So the last thing I can do right now is reward mediocrity, reward inconsistency. When you've got a game, we got to work through it. But we've got really good people, that got to become more competitive, more aware, all right, more together, all right, and more consistent. And that's a lot easier for me to say that here, standing here, than it is to get it done. But that's what's got to happen.